Racism is no longer hating someone based upon their race. It requires this structural power dynamic element.
Right.
That way, white people can't be victims of racism.
Right.
Yes.
Gender is no longer sex. Those two terms must be separated because it fits the left's trans narrative. And we have the same with infrastructure. It's no longer roads and bridges. It's whatever social program would benefit the Democratic platform and get them votes. This idea that last week we learned that everything is infrastructure.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is infrastructure.
I'm excited about this one.
Your mom is infrastructure. I mean, we had there was a full-blown meme
Those
war.
were fighting words when I was in high school.
There was a full-blown meme war on Twitter last week in the political landscape over Senator Kristen Gillibrand popping off with a ridiculous tweet because essentially the right has come out against Joe Biden's infrastructure plan, incredibly big spending bill that involves about 9% infrastructural spending and a bunch of other social nonsense. And Kristen Gillibrand said, well, that doesn't matter because Americans agree, I don't know which Americans, but Americans agree, you see, that paid leave is infrastructure, child care is infrastructure, caregiving is infrastructure. So we need to fund all of those things because if we don't have those systems and those foundations financially in this country, if the federal government doesn't get involved and provide child care and caregiving and health care, there is no infrastructure, there's no foundation, there's nothing to build on in this society, and we're all at a loss. This, of course, provoked people all over social media to make a farce of what was said because on the left, everything is everything that it's not. All these words mean absolutely nothing. Hence the joke, your mom is infrastructure. Everyone all over Twitter was saying, this is infrastructure, that's infrastructure. And so then, unfortunately, though, this narrative actually took root, and we have folks on the left and in the on the Democratic side of the aisle pouncing on this decision and saying, we have the Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm, saying on Sunday that, quote, we don't want to use past definitions of infrastructure.
Yeah, no.
We don't
Only
want to
future
use
definitions.
the definition. We want to
Right.
change the definition. And this is it gets back to, the left does this all the time. Racism on the last
yes.
topic. Racism is no longer hating someone based upon their race. It requires this structural power dynamic element.
Right.
That way, white people can't be victims of racism.
Right.
Yes.
Gender is no longer sex. Those two terms must be separated because it fits the left's trans narrative. And we have the same with infrastructure. It's no longer roads and bridges. It's whatever social program would benefit the Democratic platform and get them votes. So, of course, this goes back to the Clintonian, it depends what the meaning of the word is in his testimony before Congress during his impeachment. And unfortunately, we see this all the time. C.S. Lewis talks about this in Mere Christianity. He talks about the misuse of words and how over time words can be watered down and ruined, right? So his example is the term gentleman. In the past, the word gentleman was created for someone with a coat of arms who was a member of the aristocracy, right? Of course, then it became a nicety, a pleasantry.
Right.
Michael, you're a gentleman. George, you're a gentleman. You guys are nice guys. You're gentlemen. So the word gentleman no longer means what it means. And now the word is of no use to anyone because it's just a pleasantry. Infrastructure, racism, gender are becoming the same things because of what the left has done with words. They will manipulate any word to mean anything if it fits their narrative.